Buongiorno. So we are now leaving Rome. We are heading about an hour north to a place called Civitavecchia. We are going to take you guys on a 24-hour ferry across the Mediterranean with 3 children. We're going to talk to the good stuff, the bad stuff, and the not so great stuff. We'll talk to you around what went well, what we may change, what we would recommend for anyone doing this trip in the future, and what we learn on the way. We'll talk about the accommodation, the booking process, and the food. We're now coming to the end of our road trip, so in 24 hours time-ish, we'll be in Spain, which is where our ferry will be taking us to Barcelona. It is a 24-hour ferry with the kids in a small cabin. We are not sure how that's going to go, but we'll take you guys along for the journey, and you can share the pain with us, all the joys. We are just stopped near a beach on the way up to Civitavecchia and sorting a few things out with the van, getting some food ready for the next couple of days. For this evening, our ferry is at 11 p.m. We have to be there a few hours before to check in and wish us luck. So we'll leave it there and we'll see you up at the port. Finding the port of Civitavecchia was a bit trickier than we expected. The roads made it feel like you were heading down a one-way street when you're actually not. Our advice, just follow the signs and trust the process. You'll get there. We found the pier that we need to be on and we're now walking to the ferry terminal customer service desk to check in. Once we arrived, we joined a long queue at the check-in desk. After waiting, we were finally seen and told we'll be boarding in 1 hour. Spoiler alert, that information was completely wrong and it caused us some issues later on, but we'll get on to that. Boarding was quite slow, especially for us. Vans and campers were the last to enter, so we had plenty of time to watch lorries, bikes and cars go ahead. When we finally got on, we were blown away by the sheer size of the ship. Not sure where we're going. Let's follow the crowd. The crew are incredibly friendly and honestly it feels more like a floating hotel than a boat. Our first thought, this is huge. Our children's first thought, where's the Wi-Fi? Finding our cabin was easy. There was lots of stars showing us the way, though I have to say it was quite a long walk through the ship. We booked a junior suite cabin, 2 bunk beds and a double, and 1 small bathroom and 0 personal space. But honestly, the little extra we paid to get the upgrade was totally worth it, considering we'll be spending 24 hours in this small space. Here's the thing, there are no 5-person cabin options available, so we booked the 4-berth cabin plus 1 chair, but of course we all stayed in the cabin together. Ella is small enough so that she can share a bed with her siblings, so that worked out perfectly. We noticed these no camping signs in and around the sitting areas like the restaurants, and to be fair we didn't see many tents around. If you're travelling with kids, book the outside cabin. Having a window makes a world of difference and they absolutely love looking out to sea. 5 minutes in, someone had already claimed the top bunk. One thing to note, general announcements were made from the corridor which are hard to hear inside the cabin, which sometimes we had to open the door to listen. Important announcements though, they came straight into the cabin through the speaker system. When we booked this ferry trip, we knew food prices on board were likely to be rather expensive. After all, there are no other choice or competition when you're in the middle of the sea. So we decided to prepare a couple of meals ahead of the trip to keep the costs down, and this worked out really well and the children loved what we made. The ship has 3 restaurants, the main general restaurant, another one called Family Burger, and one that looked a little bit too fine dining for us. With our cabin booking, we got a welcome drink and a standard breakfast included, a pastry, coffee and juice, which was all available at the restaurant. You use your cabin key cards at the till to pick up these items. A larger breakfast is also available to purchase if you want something more substantial. Everything else is by cash or card. Our evening meal was at the Family Burger restaurant with a choice of pizza, burgers and salad. Quite a standard selection, but perfectly fine for our kids. Here's a money saving tip. If you do opt for a meal at the restaurant, Grimaldi Lines does offer a discounted food voucher called the Eat Pass. You can spend €18 and get €20 worth of purchases, or for example €48 and get €60 worth of purchases, which can be used anywhere on board. But here's the catch, this is only bookable when you are booking your ferry ticket or at the check-in desk at the ferry before you check in, so let the desk know that you want these straight away. It's not available once you're on board, so you'll need to plan ahead. Overall, the food experience was okay. The ferry was relatively quiet, so there wasn't much queuing or waiting around, which was a relief with 3 children in tow. ferry we sailed on Cruise Barcelona is one of the 2 flagship boats that Grimaldi Lines operates, holding over 2,500 passengers. So there is an abundance of entertainment options, a stage for live music and entertainment, a casino, a wellness centre and even a swimming pool on the top deck.
Breakfast finished, we're going to explore the deck, take a look at the swimming pool. Daniel is dying for a swim, even though it's end of October.
However, due to the time of the year, a lot of this wasn't in operation or wasn't really appropriate for a family of 5. The swimming pool was closed and emptied as it was past the peak summer months, so we had to make our own fun. Introducing Ella Mills. The ferry does have a children's play area which our children absolutely enjoyed. We had multiple visits there and it's a good place for the children to let off steam. Top tip, come prepared with some other forms of entertainment for your children, card games, colouring books, etc. And don't rely on the ferry to provide it all. Remember, this is a 24-hour ferry, not just a short ride across a river. Also bring snacks, lots of them.
I've been trying to get a little bit of rest this afternoon because when we dock at 10 we've got a bit of driving to do, so I want to make sure I'm fully refreshed, and the room was a little bit stuffy, so I feel like a bit groggy. Anyway, taking the kids for a little walk. Bit of fresh air out on the deck. They've already gone up to deck floor 11.
Remember, this trip isn't just about getting from A to B. You're still in the beauty of the Mediterranean Sea, from running around the deck to the wonderful sea views. Make sure you get to experience the sunrise or the sunset. It was truly stunning. Having the open sea and the orange glow of the sun was awesome. And more importantly, the joy of the children pointing out the land and wondering what country they were looking at. All special moments that we took in as part of this adventure across the sea. These are moments which make your journey memorable, and for us it was worth it to give us a break from all the driving whilst we sit back and mostly relax with the slow travel. Top tip, keep an eye on your children at all times. This is still a moving boat at sea and accidents can happen. Remember we said after check-in we were told we'd be boarding within the hour? Well, that turned out to be 4 hours. We did arrive at the port well ahead of schedule, so being quoted an hour was a little surprising, but we thought it would give us time to get on board and settle in. Anyway, this delay meant keeping the kids and ourselves entertained for 4 hours in a queue in our van. In and out of the van, plugging in tablets, listening to the radio, and at dusk hitting, turning the lights on to see. When the call finally came to board, we turned the van key and nothing. The battery was flat. Cue the flashing lights and the horns of people behind us, not knowing why we weren't moving. Philippa running for help, but me on the other hand, I remember the portable EcoFlow battery that we have connected to our car battery that we use for travelling around Europe. And by luck, this does have a reverse mode, so a quick flip of the direction using the app gave us enough charge to get the van going. Disaster averted. Another unexpected tale on the trip was an emergency test that the ferry had to conduct. We had noticed a number of Coast Guard personnel on the trip before, but that all made sense when we were called into the corridor to simulate an emergency evacuation. Thankfully, we stayed on board and got to wear some new clothes for a while, a fun addition for the children who kept asking if we actually needed to get off the boat. Disembarking was a bit chaotic because, well, the drivers were just too impatient and must be worried that the ferry will start going back to Rome before they disembarked. After 24 hours, we arrived at Barcelona, a bit tired, a bit sticky, but full of memories. So, was it worth it? Absolutely. If you're a family looking to slow down your travel, skip the airport stress or cut down on the driving, and turn this journey into an experience, the Rome to Barcelona ferry is a fantastic option. Would we do it again? Yes, but after a nap. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment. Please also consider subscribing for more travel content, it would be really appreciated.